everyone and welcome back to day 19 of Preptober. I can't believe how far into the month we already are and how little time we have left before November starts. It's kind of stressing me out. Today, as you can tell by the title, I'm going to talk about titles. So let's go. Now, some people prefer to have their titles set from the very start so that they know what they're going to call their project. Some people refer to this as their title, others refer to it as their working title because they're aware it might change in the future. And other people jump in head first without having a title, and I tend to fall into the second category. Maybe this goes hand in hand with me being a pantser at heart. Probably. Now, when it comes to titling your book, there are so many different options that you can choose from. There are so many different ways to title a book. Some people like to title their books after a quote in their book. For example, The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. The Fault in Our Stars is a quote from the book. Sort of. Other people like titling their books after the main character. For example, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Other people choose an important event or concept in their story, for example, The Hunger Games and Divergent, whereas other people just title the book something that feels right, etc., etc. The list could go on. I am not the kind of person who usually has a title ready ahead of time. I did, however, have a title in April for Camp April, when I had Stolen Skies and Reckless Behavior, which I really like that title and I really feel like it fit the story. It was set on a spaceship and the crew of the ship were quite reckless and it just all tied it together nicely. However, I never finished that draft. I never finished that story. I might at some point, but I haven't yet, and so I kind of feel like I wasted a good title. Usually I just have working titles or I just call them by the name of my main character. However, the story I worked on now during the summer, or sort of between May and September, which I guess is summer, that also has a title, and I did finish the first draft of that, so maybe I don't have enough data to make statistics out of this. But typically, if I don't have a title, I will just go with the main character's name. For example, Alice from a few years ago. I just called it Alice because the main character's name was Alice. Or I'll simply name the document and the story NaNoWriMo 2019 because at least then I know what it is. Sometimes I've found documents on my hard drives and flash drives and stuff, and I see the name for the document and I'm like, what is this? I have no idea what this is, because I came up with like a clever title, but it didn't actually connect to the story at all. Anyway, my main point is that you do not have to obsess about your title at this point. You don't even have to know your title by the time November is over. The title will eventually come to you, and when it does, you will know. And it's also fine to go through like 16 different titles before you settle on one. If you do, however, want to have a title for Nano, if you want to have a title for the webpage or just for your own sake, I first and foremost recommend that you look at your story or your idea for the story and see if you can find any of the examples I mentioned before. But if you can't, or if you don't know yet, go to the adoptables in the forums. I'll leave a link down below to that specific forum, because in the adoptables you can find so many good things. And I have actually found in the past that I've been there scrolling through, for example, titles, found something that stood out to me and been like, this is my story. I just had an epiphany. I just got an idea off of this title. Great. So I would highly recommend looking at the adoptables if you are desperate to find a title, because they are usually really, really good. All titles won't work for all people or all stories, but I really, really recommend checking there if you want to find a title, because you just might. I do want to say to not obsess too much about it though, because sometimes it just comes to you like that. Or down the road, you might have a beta reader or a critique partner go, hey, you could name it this. And you're like, yes, how did I not see that this entire time I've been working on this story? And you might also find that your working title, if you even have a working title, is the one that sticks. If I was to go back to Alice and rework and rewrite and edit that story, I think I would still go with the title Alice, even though it doesn't say much, but I feel like that's the name of that story, you know? Another thing to take into consideration as well is, do you want to title your chapters? I myself usually just go chapter 1, chapter 16, chapter 87, but if you title your chapters, like they do for example in Harry Potter or a whole array of other stories, that does give you more words. I'm just saying. It is, after all, NaNoWriMo. Anyway, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with another video tomorrow, so I'll see you then. Bye.